is an absolute state. Hello and welcome to today's video, and guys, I think it's time. I have been doing this channel since January, and that seems like an awful long time for me to have gone without going into great detail about a certain lady in my life. Now, the woman I'm talking about is not someone I've met personally, but I have been in the same room as them, and that makes me very, very happy. The woman I'm talking about is a household name. She's won over 256 awards. That includes Grammys, Billboard Music Awards, American Music Awards, Brit Awards. You know, she is a known name globally. She is also my favourite singer. Any guesses? Yes, it's going to be in the title of the video, so you're probably already aware that today I want to talk about why I am obsessed with Celine Dion. I don't even really know where to begin with this, if I'm honest, but I feel like this is something that I need to discuss because I just love her. I can pretty much fit Celine Dion into most conversations if I really try, and sometimes not even by trying. She just pops up and I've got something to say about Celine Dion. The woman, in my opinion, is an absolute icon and she's just fabulous. I don't really know when my love of Celine Dion really snowballed into what it is today. I just know that I've been aware of her for a long time, and then in my later teens the appreciation and love sort of began to grow. For me, I love a singer who can really tell a story, not just through their lyrics, but also through their performance and through their vocal ability. And Celine sort of just encapsulates that for me. Some people will say that Celine's songs are very cheesy and they're very, you know, lovey-dovey and a bit smushy. But I feel like if you listen to the lyrics and listen to her storytelling, there's a lot there, and it's really heartfelt, and she's a fantastic storyteller. As somebody who has seen her live, more on that later, she just has this stage presence, and when she performs she emotes, and it's just everything. She's the full package. I remember when I got to the age where I started to go out with my friends that I would listen to, I wouldn't even listen, I would put on Celine Dion's A New Day Live in Las Vegas DVD, and I would watch that before I went out, and that would be what I would watch whilst I was getting ready, and it would just put me in the mood. I cannot tell you how many times I've watched this, like how it still plays. In fact, it does jump in one part, just because I've watched it so much. I love it. If you've not seen this, you have to go watch this. It's phenomenal. I mean, listen to the track list to start with. So it's like The Power of Love. It's all coming back to me now. Because You Loved Me. I'm Alive. I Drove All Night. I Surrender, which is my favourite Celine Dion song of all time. Closely followed by The Reason. That's another good one. And then of course, My Heart Will Go On, because, you know, you can't go to a Celine Dion show without My Heart Will Go On. This is probably a good time for me to point out that I do not dislike My Heart Will Go On, but when somebody says to me, oh, I love Celine Dion, my favourite Celine Dion song is Titanic, I just want to push them off a cliff. For a start, learn the name of the song. You don't call other movie soundtrack songs by the name of the movie that they're in, right? I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith is I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, not Armageddon, which I think is the movie that that's from. But A New Day was sort of really what pushed me into finding out more about Celine. And I just found that I loved her music. I was listening to her albums and I just was like, I love this. Like, it's very me. I love a woman singer with a powerful voice. You know, I'd say my two favourite singers are Celine Dion and Christina Aguilera, and they pretty much just for the same reasons. Celine Dion just sort of pops it a little bit because of her legacy and how long she's been around and how relevant she stays. Celine Dion's different from other singers because I find that she doesn't try too hard. I mean, she just does songs that she likes, and she's had good management, especially, you know, from Renee. I just feel like it's effortless. And she doesn't have to reinvent herself every time. She tries a few new things, but it's all quite essentially Celine Dion. And that's why I think I and her other fans, because I'm certainly not the only one, absolutely adore her. It's just familiar. And no matter what she does, it's fantastic. Another reason that I fell in love with Celine Dion so much, I think, was partially because of my Auntie Sarah. My Auntie Sarah is actually my brother's godmother, but we formed a really close relationship over the years. She sadly passed away last year, and I think the world is a darker place because of it, because she was just such a positive person who never had a bad word to say about anyone, and I know that we all miss her dearly. And I miss more than anything just talking to her about Celine Dion, because she's probably the only person I've ever met who loves Celine in the exact same way that I do. I remember her telling me that she was going to Vegas and she was going to see Celine Dion, and I was so jealous. For the longest time, seeing Celine Dion live in Vegas was like the top of my bucket list. It was one of the only things I've ever wanted to do, and I've always said I need to do that. Celine Dion is the queen of Las Vegas residencies. I know other artists are doing it now. Like John's done one, Cher, Bette Midler, all at the Coliseum actually. You know, Donny and Marie. Maybe not quite the same level, but everyone is doing a Las Vegas residency. And Celine did her first residency, A New Day, for 7 years. And like, she just set a new presidency. Vegas had to up its game because of Celine Dion. She changed the face of Vegas and what entertainment in Vegas was, and you can't overlook that when you're thinking of someone's legacy. And then in 2009, I think it was, she finished her run. She stopped A New Day, she was like, I'm done. She released a new album, Taking Chances, fantastic album. And then she went off into the world and did some touring. I think she had kids, and you know, she just went back to what she was doing before. Releasing music, touring the world, and just being an icon whilst doing it. But I was gutted, and I'm not gonna lie, when Celine announced that she was no longer doing her Las Vegas residency, a little bit of my heart broke, because that meant that I was not gonna be able to go see her in Vegas. Sure, I could see her touring elsewhere, but there was something about seeing her there in Vegas. It's Caesar's Palace that just meant something to me. It felt almost like a pilgrimage or something. I don't know, but I just was something that I had to do. And I did, because she announced a second residency which went for about 3 years, and it was just called Celine. And I was lucky enough to go see Celine in Vegas at Caesar's Palace when I went to a work trip which just happened to be at a convention center in Vegas. And I just said to my managing director, I have to go. I have to. At the time that we were there, they were the last dates that were released. We weren't quite sure if there was going to be any dates after that, but the 2 last dates that Celine Dion had were whilst I was in Vegas, and I had to go. And I did. And it was everything. I've not enjoyed myself so much at a show before, and I think it's because what you see with Celine on TV and in interviews, I think that's just how she is. You know, she came out on stage and she sings, and it's just, oh my god. So, right, I mean, I could do this about every single song in the show, but I won't. I will keep it sweet. She did, of course, All By Myself. And it was quite moving actually, because she just performed Recovering, a song that was wrote for her by Pink, that was really focusing on the death of René, her husband, and she'd spoke about him beforehand. It was all very moving. She sang this song, and then she segued into All By Myself, and it was a really touching moment, and she hit that big note at the end, which I will not recreate. I'm sure you're all very disappointed, but trust me, it's for the best. And she hit that, don't want to be by myself anymore, and it just went on, and honestly, every single hair on my body stood up. Like, it was phenomenal. And I've never been in a situation like that at a concert or a gig where that's happened. I've been at a concert or a gig where I've been, you know, moved, or, you know, I've just been blown away, but never anything like that. Like, it was otherworldly. She's also just one of the funniest people I've been in the presence of. And that's what makes me think that what we see with Celine Dion just is who she is. I don't think she's being affected by fame. I think she's being kept very grounded. I think she's very thankful for what she has. And she knows that that can be taken away as easily as it has been given to her. Though I don't think it could. You don't do that to me. Don't take Celine away from me. I remember at one point she stopped the show to talk to everyone, and she was basically saying that they were treating that evening as basically like a sound check, dress rehearsal for her upcoming Asian tour in Japan. And she then started to spend the longest time talking about noodles and how people in different areas of the world eat noodles, and it was bizarre, but really funny and really entertaining and really just like, you know when you go see a show or concert and the artist has the, I'm now going to talk to the audience, but it feels very scripted. It feels very much like this is what you've said every single night of the tour, and you know, this was wrote that this is exactly what you were going to say. And that's fine, that's absolutely fine. You know, some people like a script. I like a script from an acting perspective, but from doing this, I find a script, it constrains me a little bit, and I often find that if I am sticking to a script, it becomes a bit robotic, which may be useful because sometimes I do feel like I just went around a bit, but hey, you know, that's what we're here for, right? Right? But she's talking about noodles over like for the longest time, and then she just stops and she just says, and please forgive me because this is going to be the worst Celine Dion impression you've ever seen. Maybe not the worst, maybe not like Brooklyn Heights the worst, but still pretty bad. But she just stopped and she just goes, I'm gonna have to sing a song now because the man in my ear is telling me that I've been talking for too long. And then she just burst into song, and it just was very organic. There was no fakeness. There was almost no performance to it. It was just a woman on stage speaking to the people who would come to see her perform as if they were friends who she'd known her entire life. I felt really comfortable, and I know it sounds like a silly thing to say, but that show could have gone on for hours and hours and I don't think anyone would have got bored. Celine Dion could have not sang and I don't think anybody would have got bored. And that's what you go to see Celine Dion for, to hear her sing her amazing songs. There's just a genuineness to her that I just think is lacking in a lot of other modern day divas. Not naming names, Mariah Carey. Celine's music continues to draw me in, and she just, I think, is unmatched in many ways with a lot of other people in the music industry for that. There's not really any drama around Celine Dion, you know, she's not in gossip newspapers, she's just Celine, and that's what sells what she does. She's a fantastic vocalist. Her last album, Courage, if you've not heard it, is stellar. Get on that. I just think she's fantastic. And now, Celine Dion, not just singer, fashion icon. Who saw that coming? Celine obviously has very good people around her on a style sense. And also, musically, you know, she keeps being Celine whilst also being this new fashion Celine that is very much who she's always been. I don't think she's ever going to change, and I wouldn't want her to. I just feel very, very passionate. You wouldn't have guessed, but feel very passionately about Celine Dion, and I think that she may get overlooked from younger music fans, but I do think that there is a place for her in the market that is being overlooked. Not to say that she's completely irrelevant, because she's not. She has this global fan base. Like, she's never not going to be around as long as she's releasing music. She's never not going to be successful. She may not be getting #1 singles anymore, but she doesn't need that. I think the charts are no longer really accurate as to what people are listening to. And as far as I'm concerned, and many, many other Celine Dion fans, she is #1. She can't be beat. As I said, you know, there's other singers like Celine Dion that I really love, and they inspire me, and I just will constantly keep up to date with their careers. But something about Celine, just as a person, a performer, and a singer, just resonates with me, and I just think that that is a person who I think I could meet. And I know they say don't meet your idols, but I just think that out of everyone that I would classify my fan as, she's the one person who I think that if she walked into a room or I had a meet and greet with her, I wouldn't feel disappointed by it in any way, because I just think that she is what she puts out. This is like a really different video from anything that I've done before, but anybody who knows me know how much I love Celine, and I think that there's a little bit of a joke there that people are like, oh, Matthew's gonna bring up Celine, but she is just an icon. She's one of the only people who's won the Eurovision Song Contest who's then gone on to have a global career. And unlike ABBA, who are probably the only other people who've had that long-standing career and have that legacy in the same sense that Celine does, she's like pretty much not remembered for that. Lots of people don't even know that Celine Dion won the Eurovision Song Contest because it was so early in her career, where for ABBA, that was their big breakout and that's what made them stars, where this is different. You know, Celine Dion won the Eurovision Song Contest, went away, came back here a few years later and was new, and it was a complete detachment from the Eurovision. I guess I said that she doesn't really reinvent herself, but maybe that's not so true. I think that she just does it in such a natural way that it never feels like it's a complete detachment from what she's done before. Some people do a new sort of vibe for every album they release, and that's quite common these days. And don't get me wrong, Lady Gaga's done it, Christina Aguilera's done it, and I love both of them. And you know, Madonna's been doing it for years, though I'm a bit shaky on Madonna. I just think that what Celine does is that she does it such tiny little steps each time that it never feels such a complete tear away from what she's done before. It's not shocking, it's just like, this is something a little bit new, we're trying something a little bit different here, and I think it just works because it's familiar but new, and she just sells it. I could wait on for hours about her, I'm not gonna lie. If you get the chance to see Celine Dion live, please do it. Like, I don't care if you're not a massive Celine Dion fan, you will not be disappointed. She is phenomenal. And I just think that everyone will have a good time. She knows how to put on a show, she knows how to connect to people, and I think that's probably the most important thing. I'm gonna stop now, because as I said, this could go on for a long time. But check Celine Dion out if you haven't already, and some of her newer stuff by that. I mean, I'm assuming you're all aware of who Celine Dion is. She sang Titanic. So if you're a fan of Celine Dion and agree with everything I've said in this video, because obviously I'm right, please leave a like. And if not, please just leave a like anyway, because it really helps the channel. Please subscribe to keep up to date with what I'm doing. And if you have any thoughts or anything you'd like to share with me, Celine Dion related or not, please leave them in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching and stopping by and listening to me witter on about one of the world's greatest musical icons of all time. I really do appreciate it. Stay safe, take care of yourself, and I will see you soon. Bye bye now.